Good morning, students. Students, how are you? Well, I know you have enjoyed your Sunday and you have done your work. That is the real enjoyment. Now, well, students, we have started our third chapter, and that is constitutional design. And so far, we have discussed about the constitution of South Africa, and some points we have discussed about the constitution of India. And by now, you have learned or you have come to know that Indian constitution, it was started in 1928. Okay, 1928, when Motilal Nehru and 8 other members, they started making draft of this Indian constitution. And then in Karachi session, when Indian National Congress session was held, it was decided that how independent India's constitution should look like. Okay, and then some things they were added as universal adult franchise, right to freedom and equality, and to protect the rights of minority. So these were some basic values which were accepted by all the leaders much before the Constituent Assembly met to deliberate on the constitution. So during 1927 assembly or elections, some persons or some people from India, they participated and they got the seat, but even then they could not have a strong command in the legislative assemblies, but they got the experience, and this experience, it worked a lot when again the draft of Indian constitution was started. Okay, now let's move further, students, and now let's start the discussion that years of thinking and deliberation, as I asked you, it's batchit on the framework of constitution had another benefit, because our leaders, they get confidence to learn from other countries, but on our own terms. हमने अपनी तरीके से दूसरे कंट्रीज़ के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन से बहुत सारी चीज़ें ली. Many of our constitutions were inspired by the ideals of French Revolution, the practice of parliamentary democracy in Britain, and the Bill of Rights in the US. So these things we have taken from the constitution of other countries. The socialist revolution in Russia had inspired many Indians. Inspired means जागरूक करना, उनको इससे बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोत्साहित करना, to think of shaping a system based on social and economic equality. Yet they were not simply imitating. हमने उनको सिंपल मतलब एकदम से नकल नहीं की what others had done. At each step they were questioning whether these things suited our country or not. So all these factors contributed to the making of our constitution. Now let's see the Constituent Assembly. Who then were the makers of Indian Constitution? You will find here very brief sketch of some of the leaders who played an important role in making the constitution, and we will see later on. So the drafting of the document called the constitution was done by an assembly of elected representatives who were they called the Constituent Assembly. Now the one word answer question, what do you mean by Constituent Assembly? Okay, now elections, for that purpose also elections were held. Elections to the Constituent Assembly were held in July 1946. Underline this line. Its first meeting was held in December 1946. Again, underline it. And soon after, the country was divided into India and Pakistan. So students, now you have come to know that Indian Constitution, the drafting of Indian Constitution, it was started before the partition of India and Pakistan. So the Constituent Assembly was also divided into the Constituent Assembly of India and Pakistan. And the Constituent Assembly that wrote, जिसने लिखा, the Indian Constitution had, underline it, 299 members. And the Assembly adopted the Constitution on 26 November 1949. But it came into effect on 26 January 1950. To mark this day, we celebrate January 26 as Republic Day every year. I'll just tell you why the Indian Constitution was enforced or came into effect on 26 January 1950. But before that, you see, Rajendra Prasad, he was the president of Constituent Assembly and he was a lawyer. Okay, and now Jaipal Singh, okay, and then H.C. Mukherjee. These three names are here, and rest of the names they will be in next pages. But let me tell you again, as I was asking you, that I will tell you that why this though Indian Constitution was completed on 26 November, but why it was enforced. So sorry, it was enforced on, I'm so sorry, it was enforced on 26 January. There is a story or there is an incident behind it. Actually, in the Congress session of 1929, it was decided that 26 January 1930 will be celebrated or will be observed as the complete Independence Day, and further we will just start working to gain independence. But anyhow, we could not celebrate or we could not fulfill our aim on 26 January 1930. But as this date has an importance on itself, so we adopted the Indian Constitution on 26 January 1950, just after 20 years, because we could not get independence on 26 January 1930. But as this date was very important, so our Constitution was enforced on this date. Okay. Now, why should we accept the Constitution made by this assembly more than 50 years ago? Because earlier we discussed that this Constitution was, the drafting of Constitution was started in 1928. Okay, so we have already noted one reason above, that the Constitution does not reflect the views of its members alone, but it expresses a broad consensus of its time. And many countries of the world have had to rewrite their constitution afresh because the basic rules were not accepted to all major social groups or political parties. Because when earlier we started the drafting of constitution, maximum means some of the social groups, they did not accept that. So we started the draft of constitution again in 1946. No one actually follows it when earlier it was started. So the experience of our constitution is different. And over the last half a century, several groups have questioned some provisions of constitution, but no large social group or political party has ever questioned the legitimacy of constitution itself. It is an unusual achievement for any constitution. And the second reason for accepting the constitution is that the Constituent Assembly represented the people of India. There was no universal adult franchise at that time. Before independence, universal adult franchise was not there. So the Constituent Assembly could not have been chosen directly by all the people of India. So it was elected mainly by the members of existing provincial legislature that we mentioned above. क्योंकि उस टाइम पे बेटे जो हमने कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली बनाई थी वो लोगों ने नहीं चुनी थी, बल्कि सिर्फ जो इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस है उन्हीं के मेंबर्स ने ही चुनी थी. लेकिन अब हमारी कंट्री के लोगों ने इंडियन नेशनल हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली को चुना और इसलिए अब वो बिल्कुल सही से काम किया. This ensured a fair geographical share of members from all the regions of the country. So the assembly was dominated by the Indian National Congress. उस time पे the party had led India's freedom struggle. But the Congress itself included a variety of political groups and opinion. And the assembly had many members who did not agree with the Congress, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे असेंबली में बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे थे जो कांग्रेस से एग्री नहीं थे. सो इन सोशल टर्म्स टू द असेंबली रिप्रेजेंटेड मेंबर्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस. अब हमने अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस से लिए, कास्ट से लिए, क्लासेस से, रिलीजन से एंड ऑक्यूपेशन से. इवन इफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली वॉज इलेक्टेड बाय यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज, its composition would not have been very different. Finally, the manner in which the Constituent Assembly worked gives sensitivity to the Constitution, and the Constituent Assembly worked in a systematic, open and consensual manner. First, some basic principles were decided and agreed upon. Then a drafting committee chaired by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar prepared a draft constitution for discussion, and then several rounds of thorough discussion took place on the draft constitution, clause by clause, means line by line. More than 2000 amendments hota hai changes, were considered, and the members deliberated for 114 days spread over 3 years. And every document presented and every word spoken in the Constituent Assembly has been recorded and preserved. And these are called Constituent Assembly debates. When printed, these debates are 12 bulky volumes, 12 bulky books में. And these debates provide the rationale behind every provision. Rationale होता है उसका हमें खुल के मतलब उसका पूरा सा विवरण देना. Behind every provision of constitution, and these are used to interpret the meaning of constitution. Okay, now guiding values of the constitution, and in this book we shall study the exact provision of constitution. हम इस किताब में constitution का exact provision पढ़ेंगे on different subjects पे. At this stage, let's begin with understanding the overall philosophy of what our constitution is all about. कि हम पहले तो ओवरऑल फिलोसफी के बारे में जानेंगे कि हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या चीज़ें हैं. वी कैन डू इट इन 2 ways. We can understand it by reading the views of some of our major leaders on our constitution, but it is equally important to read what the constitution says about its own philosophy, and this is what the preamble. अब जो फिलोसफी हमारी लिखी गई है उसी को ही हम preamble बोलते हैं. Let's turn to these one by one. So first of all, let's take one first point, the dream and the promise. Some of you may have noticed, हम में से कुछ ने नोटिस किया है, a name missing from the sketches of the makers of constitution, Mahatma Gandhi. He was not a member of Constituent Assembly, yet there were many members who followed his vision. Years ago, writing in his magazine Young India, underline it in one word, in 1931 he had spelled out what he wanted the constitution to do. उसने ये पहले ही लिख दिया था कि हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो बनेगा उसमें क्या चीज़ें उसको करनी है. तो ये उनकी वर्डिंग्स हैं. I shall strive for a constitution which will release India from all thraldom and patronage. I shall work for an India in which the poorest shall feel that it is their country, in whose making they have an effective voice, an India in which there shall be no high class and no class of people, an India in which all communities shall live in perfect harmony. There can be no room in such an India for the curse of untouchability or the curse of the intoxicating drinks and drug. Women will enjoy the same rights as men, and I shall be satisfied with nothing else. ये महात्मा गांधी के व्यूज़ थे जो उन्होंने अपनी बुक यंग इंडिया में लिखे थे 1931 में. So all these things, when the Indian Constitution was framed, all these things were included in it. Okay, so this dream of an India that has eliminated inequality, क्योंकि इसमें inequality को eliminate किया, was shared by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who played a key role in the making of Constitution, but he had a different understanding of how inequalities could be removed. He often bitterly criticized महात्मा गांधी एंड किसको करते थे, महात्मा गांधी और उनके विज़न को. इन हिज कंक्लूडिंग स्पीच टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली ही स्टेटेड हिज एग्जाइटी वेरी क्लियरली. नाउ लेट्स सी रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स. What on the 26th of January 1950 we are going to enter a life of contradiction. In politics we will have equality, and in social and economic life we will have inequality. In politics we will be recognizing the principle of one man, one vote and one value, but in our social and economic life we shall, by reason of our social and economic structure, continue to deny the principle of one man and one value. How long shall we continue to live this life of contradiction? अब ये कौन कह रहे हैं? डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर की. पॉलिटिकली तो हमें ये सब चीज़ मिल गई है, हमने लिख लिया है, लेकिन हमारी सोशल और इकोनॉमिक लाइफ में हम बिल्कुल कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन में, इसके विपरीत हैं. हमें कितना टाइम लगेगा इन सबको रियली इन रियल सेंस में अचीव करने में? हाउ लॉन्ग शैल वी कंटिन्यू टू डिनाई इक्वलिटी इन आवर सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक लाइफ? इफ़ वी कंटिन्यू टू deny it for long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in peril. So these were the words spoken by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, finally let's turn to Jawaharlal Nehru. Ab Jawaharlal Nehru giving his famous speech to the Constituent Assembly at the stroke of midnight on August 15, 1947, and what he spoke, we will discuss it in our next discussion. Okay, and this is all for today. Thank you.